If you're studying chemistry and you struggle to work out the charge of an ion in a compound, then keep watching. These questions are really common in the National 5 chemistry exams, but it's also an important skill to have if you're doing higher or advanced higher. So let's work out the charge of this copper in the copper chloride. When we're trying to work out the charge of the metals, what we want to do is look at what is the charge of what's attached to it. Chlorine is in group 7, which means it will always have a 1 negative charge. This means if we've got 3 chloride ions, then that's a total of 3 negative. Our metal needs to balance that negative charge out to give a neutral compound, so then that has to be 3 positive. Because there's only 1 copper ion, that 3 positive charge goes onto this copper ion. So now you have your charge of the copper in this copper chloride compound. It is 3 positive. Let's work out the charge of the iron in this iron oxide. Oxygen is in group 6, which means as an ion it always has a 2 negative charge. Remember the pattern of the ion charges goes +1 for group 1, 2 plus for group 2, 3 plus for group 3. Group 4 don't really form ions, so we tend to skip them. Then when we get to group 5, it goes to 3 minus, then 2 minus for group 6, 1 negative for group 7, and again group 0 don't form ions. So this oxide ion is 2 negative. Because there's only one of it, that gives us a total charge of 2 negative, which means the iron needs to be 2 positive to balance that out. There's only 1 iron atom, so then that 2 positive charge goes on there, so the charge of the iron is 2 plus. Let's do a harder one. So we already know oxygen has a 2 negative charge. Because there's 3 oxide ions, that gives you a total of 6 minus. That means we need a 6 plus charge to balance that out. But this time there's 2 moles of iron ions, and so that 6 positive charge has to be shared between them. So if we divide that by 2, it means that each iron is 3 positive. And one more to finish off. So we know oxygen always has a 2 negative charge as an ion. 6 times 2 minus gives us 12 minus. That means we need 12 positive to balance that out. Sharing that 12 positive charge between the 2 chromiums would give us 6 positive for each chromium. So that's the charge of the chromium ion. So always make sure you look at what the charge of the non-metal groups attached to the metal are, and then that'll help you work out what the charge of the metal has to be, and that'll give you your answer. Bye!